By the way, be sure to follow us on Twitter at Illini_guys, on Instagram as well. This is the Sports Spectacular. Larry, Mike, and Brad. Guys, Illinois basketball is here, ranked 25th in the country. We've got EAU coming up Monday night at State Farm Center. But let's first talk about it's been a few nights now, but that game against Kansas. Listen, I know it's an exhibition game. I get that. Illinois gets the win at home, 82-75. Let's be honest, though. Both coaches were playing to win. You could just say, yeah, it's exhibition. Yeah, it's just for good charity, raise $1 million for the Maui Strong. It was clear in the final 10 minutes. Both these coaches just wanted to win this game.
Oh, it was intense. I mean, and I actually heard some people talk about how, Illinois played to win and this and that. Well, Kansas played 4 starters, 35 plus minutes. Yeah. I mean, in an exhibition game. So they were trying to win too. Don't think they were not. And I will say this. I thought the biggest thing for me, the takeaway for me, is that these are 2 really good basketball teams. And I don't know if Kansas is the number 1 team in the country. I'm not sure. They still have a kid out, the Australian kid. When he comes back, maybe they'll have a little more depth. But reality is, Illinois, even if Kansas is top 10, top 15, Illinois was with them. So that means Illinois probably is underrated at 25. And so I think that's where I think that's what we learned. And they've got so many weapons. I mean, the hardest part for Brad Underwood, I think this year, is going to be keeping 12 guys happy who all want to play. And that's hard to do.
Yeah. Bill Self did not decide to come back to the State Farm Center to lose a game. And, Brad Underwood doesn't have rock fights in Pizza Hut parking lots to let some guy show up on his turf and then let him beat him in front of his home crowd. So you knew this game was going to be intense. And then if you look at the history of these 2 coaches, their teams play defense with an intent to stop the other team however they need to. So the minute this thing was announced, I knew that anybody who was fortunate enough to donate the money to raise for Maui Strong was going to be treated to an excellent game that was well beyond any exhibition.
I loved it. Here's the thing. Even my wife stopped to watch, and she only watches some of the Illinois games because she's like, I can't watch as many as you do because I watch them all. But yeah, she was into it, really intrigued. And we have great respect, obviously, for Coach Self. How about the record 38-2? Only his second loss ever in that building. I mean, that's impressive too. Listen, we got a glimpse, and Brad, you've got a great point, and we're going to bring in our special guest here in a moment, the newest member of our team, in just a moment here. You bring up a great point in terms of for Underwood. When you've got 12 guys who can bring it, it's going to be tough to get minutes. But I thought we saw something interesting in the final 4 minutes of this game, that he played his AARP lineup.
The Social Security squad.
Exactly. Yeah, these guys they go to dinner early because they get the discount, right, at the senior discount. 4 or 5 year guys, and then the youngin senior Coleman Hawkins. But listen, that veteran play, all 5 of those guys, I thought, locked down, held Kansas to only 1 field goal. That looked like a Brad Underwood team, and we didn't see that last season consistently.
Yeah, no question. Last year, you're relying on freshman guards to make plays at the end of games, or everything was isolation. And this year now you saw ball movement, you see back cuts. I think it was Justin Harmon on a back cut, which is always fun to see, and ball movement. I think when Marcus Domask hit that 3, I mean, that's like the best highlight of the game. Quincy Guerrero, opposite corner, goes around, Hawkins a high-low, around the horn. Marcus Domask hits the 3. That was, the best highlight from the game. So this is what you see with veteran guys.
Yeah, Brad and I spent a lot of years coaching basketball, and there were several plays that you could, several possessions that you could use to demonstrate to kids what the extra pass means in terms of an advantage for the offense. And we saw that, and that doesn't happen with immature players. And so it was very nice to see.
Yeah, we're excited to introduce the newest member of the IlliniGuys team for this upcoming basketball season, presented by HX Home Solutions, just a great sponsor and supporter of Illini student athletes. You mentioned before, it was one of the prettiest plays of the night. Marcus Domask hitting that, the transfer from SIU. Joining us now will be here on the show every week. Marcus, welcome to the Sports Spectacular.
Thanks. Appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely. Hey, what's it been like so far? I mean, so you got on campus this summer and working, but what was it like to finally get out there? A couple of exhibition games, but again, this didn't feel like October, right? This felt more like a March game the other night.
Yeah, that game felt a lot more than just an exhibition game, that's for sure. It felt good. You do all this practice with no one in the gym and you just wait and wait to play in front of fans. And, it felt good to get out there and kind of get your feet wet playing on the home court. And it just makes you excited for the rest of the season.
Marcus, is there something, obviously you chose to come to Illinois and leave Southern, I mean, I would too if I knew that a guy like Mike Cagley graduated from there. So as you leave Southern and you come to Illinois, as you kind of get into this big, I mean, you didn't really probably see that kind of, a Kansas coming to town. I mean, it's a different kind of level and mindset. And what's that like for you?
Yeah, it's definitely a different level, kind of everything's just amped up a little bit. But I think, I think basketball is basketball. You just got to kind of treat every game the same. Whether we're playing Ottawa or we're playing Kansas, like I'm going to go through my game day routine. I'm going to try to get mentally focused, be on top of the scout. And once the ball's tipped, I mean, we're just trying to win the game.
You played and been through a lot of scenarios at SIU. Where does the confidence come from that made you have no problem stepping into the Big Ten knowing you would be successful?
The confidence, I think, just comes from putting in work. Every day I try to do extra stuff outside of the team, stuff outside of the practice. And I think at the end of the day, you just rely on what you've done in your preparation. So I'm just going to try to continue to prepare, try to feel like I've done more than the opponent. So then when the time comes to play, I feel more confident than the opponent.
Talking with Marcus Domask. He's the newest member of the IlliniGuys Sports Spectacular team, presented to us by HX Home Solutions. So, Marcus, the season now beginning Monday night. You've got EIU coming in. Look, it was Kansas exhibition, et cetera, whatever. Now you're getting ready to get going. How has the mindset changed here in this past several days since the Kansas game, knowing that now they're for real? I mean, this is game one, and you're looking to go 1-0.
Yeah, I think you can kind of see in our practices, everybody, now that we kind of got teased a little bit, playing in front of our fans and games that didn't count, we're just excited to have stuff that does count, So I think everybody has just been in the gym and we're just excited to kind of get this rolling and, stack some wins in the column for real this time.
Marcus, what has been, I guess when I look at this, I mean, it seems like you've, talking to Coach Underwood, he says, you've gotten a lot leaner, I mean, like 15 pounds or something like that. He said that you've kind of got leaner, and it wasn't like you were overweight before. So is it just so you can be a little bit quicker on the wing, or what's the idea behind that?
Yeah, I would say that's the idea, kind of, quicker on the wing, quicker defensively. At SIU, I was kind of offensively, I was kind of used all over the place, but defensively, I primarily guarded like 4 men. So, I was kind of banging down low a lot. So my strength coach wanted me a little heavier so I could, couldn't be moved and stuff. But now coming into kind of a new position, playing like the 3 and kind of the 1 at times, depending on the lineup, they felt like I needed to try to just be quicker. So, cutting down, focusing on diet, working extra with flex, and just trying to get that advantage by just cutting some weight and just moving a little better on the court.
What comes into your mind when it was, when you kind of found out, hey, you're going to be playing some point guard? How do you approach that differently from, tangling with 4s in the paint to now you're bringing the ball up against point guards potentially?
Yeah. I had at SIU, I kind of played everywhere. So, I had times where I played point at SIU, it wasn't much, but, I've had a point reps before. So, it's nothing that's super new to me. So it's just kind of, at the point you just kind of, gets to run the team a little bit more. So just really learning like the personnel on the team and kind of who's best where, so it's a little different than the position I've primarily used to, but it's nothing that, just watching film and getting reps at, like you can pick up on it pretty quick.
Marcus, I was joking earlier, referring to you as an AARP, and I saw you laugh. You got the joke. But seriously, though, the final 4 minutes in the exhibition game against Kansas, you were on the court with two guys who spent their spring in NBA camps, a guy who's a former All-ACC player, and another guy who's a double-digit scorer last year. So have you ever been on a court with four teammates with that level of experience and talent at the same time? On your team?
Yeah, I probably haven't. It's an old group, and some of the guys make fun of us. They call me Unc for uncle. Some of the guys call me now. So, it's kind of funny. Like we joke around with it because, some of us are just, a lot like the Dre and Amani, like we got 4 or 5 years on them. Like we're a lot older. So, but I think it showed. I think we just with experience kind of comes understanding your role and just knowing what to do, and I just think that we can just have a team that's older, but with talented guys as well. So like, we just eliminate mistakes, when you've been through it, you've kind of seen most everything.
So Marcus, my question though, and I think I asked you this on media day too, is which game are you looking most forward to this year? Is there a game you've already got on the calendar?
I mean, obviously, I want to win them all, but yeah, like the home game in front of, close to back home in front of my family and friends, like that's definitely a big one for me. I'd love to go in there and get the dub.
And as you look at this, how did you set your own goals for this year? You've done just about everything at SIU. So what goals did you set for yourself here at University of Illinois?
As far as goals for myself, I think, I just wanted to be somebody that came in and impacted winning. As I've gotten older, I've realized that if you're losing, like nobody really cares who's scoring, who's rebounding, who's doing anything. Like it's the teams that win that get remembered. So I think, just coming to a place like this where I felt like I could really win and impact winning, because if you win, you get recognized. If you lose, no one cares. So, I mean, I just want to win. That's really why I'm here.
By the way, in case those listening wonder, that's the game Marcus is referring to. Mark it down that on his calendar, March 2nd. It's a Saturday at Wisconsin, toward the end of the season, and I think that could be. These two teams have gone toe to toe several years as two of the elite teams in the Big Ten. What does it mean for you to be a part of this program right now, as we kind of begin to wrap this segment up? With a program that did not reach the level it wanted to last year, but we've seen a resurgence with the Illini under Brad Underwood, now in his 7th season, to be a part of this team now that so much is being counted on for you guys you're beginning in the top 25, and now the challenge is to stay there with the school and a fan base that's really they're basketball crazy.
Yeah, it means a lot, and I've been able to see a little bit of the fan base already and kind of how passionate, how much they care. So, it just makes playing more fun. You want people to kind of care about you winning and like what you're doing. So, it's more fun. It definitely, like we take a lot of pride in what we do and, represent a lot of people that care about Illinois basketball. So, I mean, it just makes us excited and eager for this season.
And final seconds, I got to ask, what does it mean to you to be one of the Illini guys? Seriously.
I mean, it's good. My dad actually, he said that he listens to your guys' podcast. So he gonna
there you go.
Yeah. So.
Now we know who it is.
Yeah, we finally tracked down that one listener. Now we know we can all like hang out outside of his house and go, and he'll go, who are these guys?
We can go record right to him. There's no point putting it out on the internet. We can just go record.
I'll go sit at the Domask's kitchen table and just talk.
Just be careful. So when there's a guy who looks like Cagley doing his John Cusack outside the kitchen window, with his boombox over his head, you'll know.
Don't feed me.
It's okay. Yeah, don't throw any food at him.
You'll be broke.
You throw pizza out there, I don't leave.
Hey, Marcus, you're fitting right in, man. Show number 1. Good luck Monday night next week, and we can't wait to watch you play in the opener for real this time. And we'll talk with you next week here on the show.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
All right, appreciate it.
Thanks, Marcus.
Joining us.
Thank you.
Lewis, member of the IlliniGuys Sports Spectacular team. Again, it's a big game against EIU. And Brad, I didn't even talk about the Panthers, but that's okay. Monday night, and it's, by the way, streaming on Big Ten Plus if you can't get there in person. Keep it right here. We've got much more to come. We appreciate Marcus being here, presented by HX Home Solutions. And now, how you can get $1,000 off your project just by mentioning IlliniGuys.